Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. The Corning Farmers Market this year is helping low-income families in the southern tier buy fresh fruits and vegetables. As Big Fox's Maggie Hall reports, the government SNAP program, as well as these lower prices at the farmers market, couldn't have come at a more crucial time.
With inflation up, it seems more and more people are pouring into the Corning Farmers Market. Not only are they supporting local businesses, they're also helping their own budgets.
It's really fun to also see little growing kits that families can take home, because then they don't have to worry about $8 packets of vegetables that will go bad if their kids don't eat them.
From mushrooms to jams, kombucha to ciders, it looks like there's something for all tastes here in Centennial Park. Vendors at this local farmers market do their best to help out customers.
But yes, that is everything that we think about when we're putting together our markets, is what is the inflation doing? What is the cost to families? How do we keep families together? We have a new SNAP program that we're utilizing.
SNAP, which stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, helps lower income folks with their food bills.
Lets people become more involved in their community, because I feel like if you're using the SNAP benefits, you might feel a bit isolated.
Not only are local families helped by this market, local businesses are as well.
So the Corning Farmers Market is very important, especially for small businesses, because a lot of times the small businesses get the bad end of the stick, you might say. And families that need to flourish are the small businesses.
The Corning Farmers Market is here every Thursday from 10 to 3, where you'll find all sorts of local goods like this raspberry bush, and you may find them at more affordable prices than at your local supermarket. This is Maggie Hall, WYDC, Big Fox News, Corning.
The cooking demo at the market uses all locally sourced ingredients, some even from right here at the farmers market. Father-daughter team, Marcus and Zoe Ella Brown of Ella's Acres Homestead, take on their first cooking demo of the season.
So we're here at the market every Thursday. We have a farm-to-table food truck. We source from all the farmers here at the market. We love just local food, local ingredients. It's how we eat at home. It's been a thing we've been doing forever. We have a little homestead. But yeah, we just wanted to bring it to the Corning area. I think that there's not enough people doing farm-to-table stuff.
The Browns have the only food truck at the Corning Farmers Market. Their food promotes eating locally and using seasonal produce. Drivers in southern Chemung County can once again cross a bridge that connects Wellsburg to Lowman. For the first time in over a year, drivers drove over the Lowman crossover bridge today. The bridge has been closed for renovation since last April. The project's engineer tells Big Fox News that supply chain issues with steel beams delayed the reopening. When the bridge was closed, drivers had to take a 12-mile detour. But now that the barriers are gone, people in Wellsburg once again have a quick way to get on Interstate 86. Today, the January 6th committee looked at the role of the former president's number 2 on that day, former Vice President Mike Pence. Lauren Blanchard has more from Washington.
As the January 6th committee digs deeper into their investigation, Thursday will focus on former Vice President Mike Pence, who was in the Capitol certifying the election results when the riot began. Committee members will lay out what they say was a pressure campaign by President Trump on his VP to cast aside the election results. When he wouldn't, it turned into a large public disagreement. Gallows with Pence's name erected outside by rioters.
And I think that he knew what his constitutional duty was that day. He knew it from the beginning. And I think he was clear with the president.
The committee has also released video of a tour Georgia Representative Barry Loudermilk gave just a day before the riot. It shows a man taking photos of stairwells and security checkpoints as Loudermilk showed the group around.
The Capitol Police looked at this. They said there was nothing suspicious about it. The truth is they're trying to make a narrative that isn't there.
The next day, on January 6th, the committee alleges that same man could be heard on video making threats.
There's no escape, Pelosi, Schumer, Nadler, we're coming for you. Even you, AOC, we're coming to take you out.
I think it's been very clear for a very long time that I work with people who wish me harm. who wish me physical harm, who wish me political harm.
Thursday's hearing will not be the last. The committee is already planning at least 2 more days of hearings next week. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Voter optimism in the U.S. economy has plummeted. That's just one of the findings from a new set of Fox polls showing that inflation continues to be a dominant issue heading into the November midterm elections. Doug Luzader has more results from Washington.
Issues like gun control and abortion may be gaining ground here, but the economy continues to be the biggest factor for voters right now. We are reminded of sky-high gas prices and inflation just about every day. And just yesterday, the Fed announced a big 0.75 point rate hike in a desperate attempt to tame high prices.
We anticipate that ongoing rate increases will be appropriate.
No surprise, then, that economic concerns are far and away the top issue for registered voters, with guns and abortion a distant second and third. In fact, 90% say high gas prices are a problem for their families. All of this appears to be taking a toll on the president, whose approval number is now at 43%. That is tied for the lowest number we've seen in our polling for Biden.
I'm doing everything in my power to blunt Putin's gas price hike.
The president has again and again blamed inflation and high gas prices on Russian President Vladimir Putin. But more voters say it's Biden's policies that are at fault.
When you're the party in charge, you get the credit when things are going well, and you get the blame when things are not going well.
Voters are split on which party is better at handling another top issue, gun control. And the top Democrat behind an emerging compromise on guns says there are difficulties across the board.
This stuff is really hard. It's hard for Republicans in particular, but Democrats as well, to sort of come out of our corners and try to pass a true compromise.
That as hearings continue today on the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Half of registered voters say it's very important for Congress and the Department of Justice to investigate. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
It's not just on land that people are feeling the pinch at the pump. It's also affecting those on the water. Monica DeAnda has more on what it's costing boaters to get out there and have some fun this summer.
It's been hot, but it's been a great day.
The Prevedelli family is enjoying every minute of their family vacation. But their days out on the water now cost more than ever.
Outrageous. They are high, but what are you going to do?
On this stop to fill up, Prevedelli spent $96, and his tank wasn't even empty.
We were $2.99 on regular a year ago, and now it's $6.95, and seems to be going up even more.
Carl Wenska is a manager here at Bullfrog Landing Marina. He says gas prices have nearly tripled since last year, impacting business and the amount of people coming by.
We've seen a lot of remorse from people, and they're sad about it, but a good percentage say they're still going to boat, but they have definitely cut back on their boating.
As for the Prevedellis, they don't plan on letting these high gas prices impact their summer fun.
Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thanks.
Well, we'll be back.
Okay.
Your complete forecast is next, plus this.
New data is linking self-driving vehicles to hundreds of crashes. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer with a look at how the results could impact the future of autonomous cars on American roadways coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm meteorologist Sam Ryan. Showers and everything tapering off, moving off to the east. Here's a look at high temperatures over the last 5 days. Warmed up to 86 Wednesday and Thursday here. Officially hit a high of 83 degrees, so above the average. And now as we head through the weekend, looking at some pretty quiet and nice conditions out there, but there will be some intermittent showers and storms still to kind of walk our way through. Waking up lows Friday morning should be off to a nice dry start despite the flashing icons. That's because of the chance of some of those lingering showers off to the east here. We'll be in the mid-60s, a rather pleasant start to the day. 67 at 7 a.m. as you can see, rapidly warming up. And notice the wind direction. I think that's key. We're on the backside of front number 1. And that is going to dry us out, much lower humidity, and winds pick up a bit out of the west-northwest. If you have any graduation parties tomorrow, it's looking rather pleasant through the majority of the day. Now Friday night, we could have a few showers flaring up again. I'll show you that in just a second. Sunrise occurs at 5:30, sunset at 8:45, and as you notice, we're still gaining a little bit of daylight. Well, we're topping out here 15 hours and 14 minutes. So we're getting towards the kind of culmination of the amount of daylight we can see as we near the summer solstice. That's coming up, about a week or so. Here, looking at high temperatures, tapping out near 80 degrees at 3 p.m. So still a warm afternoon, but we will have much lower humidity, and so it'll feel a little bit nicer, and we'll continue to cool down for the day Saturday. So upper 70s to near 80, cool and comfortable with the breezy wind. And then a little bit more cloud cover for the day Saturday as another front moves over us. But we're back into sunshine Sunday. And then looking ahead, we'll have storms and another heat wave to contend with next week. So an area of low pressure spinning up here in Canada has a few fronts with it. And that's where we'll get that chance at some precipitation, maybe an isolated shower or storm here Friday late, and a little bit better chance into the day Saturday. We could have some of those showers lingering. So nothing too heavy out there, just some light showers on Saturday. And again, if you have any outdoor plans, graduation parties, not something to worry about by any stretch. They'll be isolated in nature. I think it'll be most of us staying dry. 81 for a high temperature Friday, mostly sunny skies, those winds out of the northwest. And then Saturday, mid-60s only, a little bit cooler feel. It's going to be beautiful out there, though, a little bit like fall almost. But then we're back into that sunshine. Father's Day looking gorgeous as well. Winds out of the northwest. They turn out of the south. We start to warm up. So 70 for a high Sunday. Monday 76 and 82 on Tuesdays. We continue to ramp up the temperatures to 87 next Wednesday.
It appears the state of Oregon's experiment, the decriminalizing of some dangerous drugs, is becoming a disaster. Fentanyl deaths are up more than 20%, and drug-related violent crime is soaring. Dan Springer is in Seattle with the story.
The streets of Portland are an open-air drug market. People in crisis seem to be everywhere. Oregon voters thought it would be different. In 2020, they overwhelmingly passed the first state law decriminalizing possession of small amounts of all hard drugs. Meth, heroin, even fentanyl. The idea was treatment, not jail time. But 15 months into the experiment, drug overdose deaths in Oregon hit an all-time high last year at 1,074. Portland set a record for murders, many tied to drug turf wars, and just 116 people have even bothered to call the help hotline, with only 24 seeking services.
It is predictable, was predicted, and now unfortunately is coming to pass in front of our eyes. It is a tragedy, and it's a self-inflicted wound, I fear.
Law enforcement officers across the state rarely write drug possession tickets because most people fail to appear in court. But the law is keeping cops busier.
What we're absolutely seeing is that as drug possession has been decriminalized, property crimes have increased, and so too have some violent crimes.
Measure 110 shifted $300 million of cannabis tax revenue to fund services, but none of the money is going to expand treatment beds.
It was never designed to reduce our addiction rates, so it was never designed to deal with our addiction crisis. It was always meant to deal with the war on drugs.
The money is going toward harm reduction, things like needle exchange, peer counseling, supportive housing, and Narcan to revive a person who's overdosing.
I don't think that it's just about getting folks into treatment. What it's about is also meeting people and getting people out into the streets and doing outreach for folks and getting them the life-saving drugs. You can't save somebody if they overdose and die.
But even that has failed, as drug overdose deaths in Oregon soared 41% in the first year of decriminalization. That's 25% higher than the national death toll rose. In Seattle, Dan Springer, Fox News.
A new report is giving federal officials a better understanding of cars with self-driving technology. This after hundreds have been linked to accidents. Ashley Stromier has the breakdown, plus concerns automotive experts are raising.
Buckle up, it could be a bumpy ride. The The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration releasing new data revealing vehicles with partial self-driving features were involved in roughly 400 crashes from July of last year through May 15th. A whopping 273 of those were Teslas.
I guess you could say I'm trusting it with my life.
Last June, federal officials ordered more than 100 vehicle manufacturers to begin reporting serious crashes within a day of their discovery, in an effort to learn more about how semi-autonomous cars were operating on the roads and monitor for any potential policy changes. Besides Tesla, Honda came in second place, reporting 90 crashes, with Subaru in third with 10. Some vehicle experts suggest companies could be creating a false sense of security for drivers expecting their vehicles to operate completely by themselves.
Tesla advertises its driver assist features as autopilot or full self-driving. They are not fully self-driving.
But many who embrace the technology say they see more room for error with people completely behind the wheel.
I trust the technology more than a lot of drivers, to be honest.
The NHTSA will use this data to examine possible trends in crashes to prevent future incidents. Officials say Tesla's numbers may seem high compared to other companies because their software allows them to get real-time crash stats. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Consumers are dipping into their savings to cover everyday essentials. A cosmetic giant files for Chapter 11. And Made in America, a billion-dollar plant, will create more than 1,000 new jobs. CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
Americans are feeling the pinch of soaring inflation. A new survey from the National Retail Federation shows that more than half of Americans are dipping into their savings, borrowing money, or going into debt just to cover their expenses. The same survey found 47% of consumers said they have been switching to cheaper alternatives when looking for household necessities. Revlon files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The cosmetics giant says it expects to receive $575 million in debtor-in-possession financing from its existing lender base, which it says will help support its day-to-day operations. Revlon has been struggling to deal with its cumbersome debt load and continuing supply chain issues. Still, they maintain demand for their products is strong. Amazon's Prime Day will take place on July 12th and July 13th of this year. The annual mega sale offers online shoppers deep discounts on a wide range of Amazon's inventory. And Lego is planning to invest more than $1 billion to build a manufacturing plant near Virginia's capital of Richmond. The facility will mold, process, and pack Lego products. It is expected to create more than 1,700 jobs. Lego says the factory's day-to-day energy needs will be matched by renewable energy generated by an on-site solar park. In New York, I'm CJ Papa.
Amazon's Prime Day sale is returning. It is a two-day event, July 12th and 13th. The company promising deals on everything from electronics to fashion to Amazon devices. Amazon delayed Prime Day in 2020 until October. Last year it was in June. It has returned to July when most Prime Days have been held. The start of summer is coming in a little hotter than expected, and it's impacting a third of the U.S. population. Matt Finn has more from Los Angeles.
Excruciating, hot.
Millions of people are sweltering under what feels like triple-digit temperatures Wednesday. The National Weather Service announcing, quote, life-threatening excessive heat will develop across several states. Right now, over 30 states from California to Virginia are experiencing warnings or watches.
If you have air conditioning, stay indoors and put off outside activity until later in the day or early in the morning.
What's causing this? Well, it's the result of a heat dome where very hot, dry air is mixing with warm, wet air from the Gulf of Mexico. The combination is making conditions not only very hot, but also very humid. Experts say extreme heat kills more Americans every year than tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, or lightning combined. And preparing for a heat wave beforehand will make all the difference.
The best way to remove heat from the body is just spray yourself with some cool water and sit in front of a fan.
This comes as many Americans remain without power after storms hit portions of the Midwest earlier this week, leaving more than 620,000 customers in the dark. The scorching temps even forcing public schools in places like Detroit, Minneapolis, and Milwaukee to send students home early or close altogether. For those working outside, officials say stay hydrated and taking breaks every 30 minutes is essential.
We have to communicate throughout the day to make sure none of us end up sick or potentially in danger due to the heavy heat.
The National Weather Service says the high temperatures will shift, giving millions some much-needed relief by the weekend. In Los Angeles, Matt Finn, Fox News.
Let's leave you with a smile. A woman in Texas had more than one big catch on her wedding day. Elliot Granville and her husband Ernie were married May 22nd in Port Erasmus on the Gulf of Mexico. Elliot changed from her gown to a different white dress for the reception and was still wearing it when she and her husband decided to go fishing. She felt a tug on her line, and with the help of her husband and some other fishermen, reeled in her catch, which she estimates weighed 50 pounds. Granville wound up throwing the fish back because of regulations in the area, but one of her friends said the fish was a gift from her dad, who loved fishing and died last August. That does it for us. I'm Jamie Holmes. Thanks so much for watching.